to take a look at it. And you guys talked about some of the other projects you worked on before this. What were some of those films that you were doing effects on?
Well, starting out, getting into the commercial and working with Bob Dykes, who's here tonight with Magic Lantern, was kind of the start. I'd always done some special effects stuff on our own, but that was really the start for me and us to kind of get in and get experience, professional experience on commercial sets and industrial sets. So that was sort of the start. And then from that, working on Evil Dead 2, doing miniatures on that, and then a film called The Carrier. Was a local production where I met Tom and Dave. I think they were both on The Carrier. That's where we met and kind of hooked up. And so it started we started putting the team together. And we actually filmed Frostbite or Wrath of the Wendigo, which is our first production. Sold it to Troma.
Yeah.
So you did. So from there, it was basically working on probably most of the Michigan-made movies. And then kind of went on and I did some stuff on Army of Darkness, went out to LA and did some special effects on shows out there, and then came back and we sort of, we actually, the four of us got together, Eric, Dave, and Tom and myself, and we're trying to figure out what we're going to do, and so we were all spitballing ideas, and Dave had the best one, but I think I won the giant mosquitoes.
Oh, which one was that, Eric?
Chickens.
Oh, Chickens from Mars,
Yeah. But we still can do it.
Yeah, we saw that Mosquito was just a great concept, and we couldn't go wrong in terms of finding people to invest, and so it was a great idea. So.
That's fantastic. As for putting it together, it took a little while to be able to do this, right? It wasn't just I got a script and that guy's got the money and you're good to go.
Yeah, it was an idea. I was trying to figure out what my first movie was, and we had I had shot a killer in the woods chasing kids, and just trying to figure, little vignette stuff, trying to figure out what to do. And when I hit upon something I could make to make an entry into the business was like, you had to kind of be audacious and do something. And I was a big fan of the 50s movies, Them, the Giant Ant movie, and we had seen Aliens had come out, James Cameron's Aliens, so I was going, oh, okay. So you're seeing some stuff there. And Texas Chainsaw was always a big influence on me, and when I started corresponding with Gunnar Hansen, I thought, well, I got to bring Gunnar. And it kind of started to gel and kind of come together, but it really was us going out and trying to get independent, financing and talking to anybody that would listen. And what I hit upon is my brother's sister-in-law was working for a dentist, and he always wanted to make movies. And so we hooked up with him, and then he introduced us to another gentleman who was a lawyer, and then an accountant. So I had a doctor, a lawyer, and an accountant who came in, and then Tom and Dave, they had some people. So we kind of brought that group together and got it all started. But we put together a small amount of money, and we shot most of the movie. We still had to finish, but right at the end there, we needed some finishing money, and then we got lucky. We ended up. One of our investors said, I know this guy. He brought a gentleman named Andre Blake who came in, and he financed all the post-production, and he actually helped us get it out of distribution. So it was kind of like we got it started, and once we got going, there was a lot of lucky breaks, but I feel like we made them in a way. We just kept going. It was like where we hit the wall. We actually were shooting we had about 2 weeks into the shoot over there. We made to shoot this big campground scene, but we were out of money. And one of our guys who was going to come out in the campground scene, he was an investor, he said, so what are we shooting next? And we go, well, we're not shooting anything, we're out of money. He says, what do you need? We told him, and he found some more money, and we were able to keep going. So it was sort of like it was great, it was like, it really is the circus thing. You get it going, and people start coming aboard, and they start seeing it and going, that's ridiculously fun, and so it kind of really snowballed.
I mean, that was the thing I was really kind of interested in, is in this period. I mean, this is obviously before, like, anyone who's, a civilian that hasn't made a film is like, oh, this film incentives, isn't that great and all that. But really, what was that period like for you when you were trying to make something like this? I mean, was there a lot of people out there doing the work? Was there a lot of opportunity? Did you have to import people in? I need an effects guy or I need a cameraman. I mean, was everything here then?
Well, there were a lot of people who were trying to make independent film, and it seems like a lot of many were putting together limited partnerships and trying to raise money in kind of little chunks, and Tom and I and Eric had put together Excalibur Motion Pictures at that time, trying to do that, and so that was kind of what quite a few folks were trying to do, and so we ended up going that same route and were successful.
One of the things I was going to ask, from an acting standpoint for you is how did you get hooked up with this circus, as he says?
How did you get rotated?
I signed it when I graduated with my theater degree. I signed up with all the local talent agencies, and Talent Shop called me in and said, "You want to read for this part?" And I said, "Sure." And it was actually Tim that was instrumental in me. Yep, Tim Lovelace. Yep, who plays Ray. I think you sort of gave him an opinion on who got to play his girlfriend.
You have to work it out. It's gotta work.
Yeah, so that's it. I just sort of lucked into it.
I mean, working with this, it's different than, going to theater school and working in Shakespeare. I mean, playing against big giant bucks, but, how did you come to that?
Well, playing against a big giant bugs was a different kind of challenge than playing Portia in Merchant of Venice, that's for sure. All I can really say was it was so much fun. It was tiring, but it was so much fun, and working with such great people and having such great direction and fellow cast members that were just so giving. It was a really wonderful experience, and I learned so much just about filmmaking. I mean, I made some commercials and so on before, but I'd never made a movie. And so I learned so much about directing and lighting and scene building and all the aspects.
We make it easy for you. You have your dressing room, you have stunt doubles for the motorhome scene.
Oh, yeah, that part where I'm flying out of the motorhome screaming. Oh, yeah.
That was you.
That was me. You were the one that was in danger on that one, though, weren't you? You were the one on the roof.
Yeah, it's Kevin Morton here. Kevin Morton? Remember when you were driving that motorhome and I was on the roof? Yep. Yeah, and I nearly fell off the roof while you were going down the roof.
You were hanging out side of it.
Yeah, well, I was in a staging house, and Jake was holding down to the other end of it. And he was driving, like we're doing right now, right into the lights. And so here I am acting my little heart out. He's falling off the roof. I'm screaming, falling out the door, and all of a sudden I get this yank! I'm like, what the heck? And apparently we've gotten too close to some of the trees on this very narrow road, and Jake got moving so that I was about to literally lose my head and yank me in.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to act without that.
Without your head?
Yes, yeah, it's a little different.
I don't know. I know some actors that manage it.
Well, from a camera standpoint, how were you able to, work in that way?
Well, one thing that I did want to mention, I think you asked a question earlier about independent film at the time. And at that time, it was film. And I think that was a huge filter for a filmmaker, right? Because you couldn't do anything with less than $100,000 in terms of a feature, because you had to buy a film, right? Nowadays, people are making movies with iPhones, so the number of independent films being made is greatly increased. So that was a huge filter from independent filmmakers. So the fact that the four of us got together and then his driving force just to start and to keep going really kept it going. So, yeah.
That's great. I was going to ask you, Gary, you talked about talking to Gunnar Hansen, and then you're like, oh man, I want to put him in something. And to get him to be like, not only are you going to be in this, but I'm going to put a chainsaw in your hands. Did he see that as an homage, or like, oh great, I'm always going to be the chainsaw guy, or
Well, actually, I started corresponding, I read an article about him. He was doing a movie called Hollywood Chainsaw Hookers. And I read an article in Fangoria, and I got a hold of the guy that wrote the article, and he gave me Gunnar's number and address. He lived up in Maine, and I started corresponding. My first film was going to be called The Sportsman. It was about wicked forest ranger who's killing kids, and I wanted him to play the lead. And we actually shot some stuff. We kind of never really got it together, probably for good reason. It would end up then like every other one of those movies. But we started talking, and on the phone I talked to him, and I'm like, this is not Leatherface, it's just too kind. You hear him here. And so we talked back and forth, and then when I got Mosquito going, I thought, I gotta put him in it. And Mosquito really was born out of like the necessity to make a movie for us to like, okay, how do we break through the wall? And so right away I'm like, okay, Gunner's in it, and he's playing the Earl, he's playing the bad guy. So we really had it for him. And I'm like, he's gonna have to pick that chainsaw and slice up the bugs. I mean, we had to do it. He was okay. I think I actually like, he got the script. I don't know if we left it in, or I told him when he actually got to town. But really, Mosquito was patterned, and Ron Ashby plays Hendrix, is one of the original Stooges, big B-movie fan, and so I'm like, oh, he's the ham. And so we wrote all those lines for him. And then Steve Dixon, who plays Parks. Sadly, Steve and Ron and Gunnar have all passed, but those parts were written for them. We worked on a movie called Carrier, and I saw Steve Dixon play the doctor in town, and he was the authority figure. I'm like, that's Parks. So it was really patterned after those people, and Tim I had doing at the time for the commercial, so I kind of wrote that for him. But getting back to that, yeah, Gunnar, was very, very easy, and we had corresponded for a while. We started talking about writing scripts together, which we eventually did. So he drove out, and we actually ran over his schedule, and he was only supposed to be like 2 weeks, and I kind of counted him to stay an extra week, but he was having a great time, and he loved it. He just had a blast with everybody, and so it actually worked out pretty good for him.
I was going to ask about Ron. Did you meet him elsewhere, or was he just heard about it and came in and auditioned? For Ron Ashton, yeah.
Ron I met on the Carrier along with David in town, and he was playing an actor in it, and the name sounded familiar, and I didn't put two and two together. It wasn't until afterwards I go over to his house in Ann Arbor, and it's like, it's Ron Ashton from the Stooges, Iggy and the Stooges, and we would sit and watch, B movies and Sasquatch movies and everything. I mean, and he was like, all these UFO things, and he was just a big B movie fan, and he said, I always wanted to be the Three Stooges, and it was his idea to come up with the name the Stooges, and they actually called, and I think they talked to Mo, and Mo said, as long as you don't call it the Three Stooges, we'll just be the Stooges. They were the psychedelic Stooges and became the Stooges, so he was way into this stuff. So the minute I was telling him, I knew he was going to be in the movie, and I told him what we're doing. I'm like, it was real easy. I mean, Ron came in, and there's ad-libs all over the place here, and you kind of just let him go. You kind of see Tim Lovelace going, is he ever going to shut up so I can get my line in? But, so yeah, it's like, again, it was that thing of just working on local films, and I got to say, really, the inspiration was we were going back, and it was like, growing up in Michigan, it's like, all right, who made movies here, Sam Raimi, they did the Evil Dead thing, and Bill Deere did his Northville Cemetery Massacre, and then I got to work on Moontrap, with Bob Dyke. So it was like, these were, anything that was going on, I'm like, okay, there's just, the next generation. I mean, we got to be the next ones to do that, And so we kind of had those people to follow. So I knew we could do it, and I thought, man, they did it. We can do it too, If we just come up with something kind of audacious and in your face and, comical. And
Well, it obviously leaves an impression once you got it completed, and we're working on the distribution to get it out there. How was the reaction? How did it do once you put it out into the world?
Well, the first thing was when we finished it, and we had worked on it, I just told the story, we worked on it for like 2 years. So we lived this movie. And then we finished, and I hadn't looked at anything for like 2 weeks, and then we went out to LA to sell it. We sat in a theater with a bunch of buyers. It was during the American Film Art, and we got more laughs tonight than when we got there. I mean, Yoko at me was dead. And I went, that joke doesn't work. And I'm like, well, I guess if they grew up in Michigan in the 70s, they might get that guy, So it was really just a shocker of like, how are we going to sell this? But luckily we did get distribution on it, and we signed with a company that we didn't know was going bankrupt. So, that's the old Hollywood story there. But what was interesting was that once we did that deal with the distributor, a company called Hemdale, they got it out really, really fast. So we got to really see pretty quickly that they did great business at Cannes Film Festival. The VHS was out. They did a deal with USA Up All Night, which was the channel on the cable channel, and it just played on there forever. So I mean, it got a lot of exposure. I went to did a TV show in New Zealand, and I went to the video store. It was on the shelf there. So it's like getting all this validation was pretty cool. It was like, how do we get the money? Figure out the next thing. But, so yeah, it got kind of a cult thing. You know, it's like it's been on TV since '95, '96, and I think it went off in 2005.
Wow.
So a little bit.
I was just wondering on that. I mean, like in your time going out and doing other things, running into people, did you ever run into people who were fans who go, oh man, like I saw that when I was a kid, I loved it, you know, other people who've also been in the business doing the work?
Yeah, I mean, I ran into a few people. I mean, I had some friends that I met out in LA after I moved out there, and we just kind of, it just sort of came up like you did the Mosquito movie, didn't you? The giant killer mosquitoes. And they're like, did you do the one where and they described it, and I go, no, that was Skeeter, that was that other one. We did it better. So yeah, it was interesting running into people from time to time. But just wondering, I think must have run into good people.
Yeah, I do get every once in a while somebody going, you were in that Mosquito thing, right? Yeah, that was me. But it's surprising to me, and I guess it shouldn't be, because there are so many of us that, like Ron, love horror movies, just in general. And it's surprising, but it still surprises me every once in a while that somebody recognizes me.
Well, the Japanese poster you're on the poster, there's a bug in the back.
I'm on the Japanese poster.
Back in the day.
Where's my copy?
I was going to ask you, for each of you, you could just kind of go down the line here. What is something that you think you learned on this that helped you going forward into the next work that you did?
You go first.
I'll go first, I'm at the end. Well, I guess I'd start by describing a particular day on the show. And it could have been our longest day. It was the day that the house miniature was rigged to explode. And it was a big miniature. I mean, it was, half the, maybe a quarter the size of the screen. It was quite big. And we set that up at one of the guys on the show. His parents said, "Yeah, you can do that at our house." Yeah. So we go out to this house. It was out in the country, and there was a lot of room, and it was great. We had fire department, everybody was there. But we started very early in the morning, and Gary and his crew just packed that miniature full of a variety of flammables, all day, and we had, I don't know, 6 cameras at least, various speeds, and so it was a very long day for one shot, and came off without a hitch, obviously, and it was beautiful, and nobody got hurt, and so kudos to Gary on that. I just want to say thank you for nobody getting hurt. Really, on the whole show, I mean, we were doing a lot of effects, and we came through it okay. So I guess the bottom line is that, that's an example of, film production day, and I don't know how many hours we went, but it was probably upwards of 16 maybe, or something like that.
2 or 3.
It could have been, yeah. So, it's just learning how to make things happen, and drive through, and, persistence. That's something I want.
Yeah, I agree with Dave, just that it can be done. I mean, we literally started, I think, with $30,000, and certainly nowhere near the amount of money that it would take to finish it, but just that, that it can be done, and so it was a great experience that way.
Sunscreen and hydration. One of the funny things that I learned was about lighting, because it made the lighting director crazy to have me pale girl next to Steve Dixon in a two-shot because he's obviously much darker skinned and I reflect the light. So I learned a lot about lighting. The other thing that I learned is, having been mostly a theater person, things in theater are linear. You start at the beginning of the play and then you move your way through to the middle and then the end. The first day on set was where we're walking through the woods. So to me as an actor, it was kind of unsettling because at this point I've supposedly been through hell and slimed and other things, and that's where we started. So I didn't have that sort of build-up of that I was used to as a theater actor. So that was sort of an education for me.
Well, a couple of things. The main thing I learned was how to make a movie. I thought I knew it all, you know, I thought I had a pretty good handle on it, but the first day, the first shot was, you know, the car pulls up and Gunner gets out, the bad guys get out of the car. I just remember standing there and going, you know, all these people here, and I had a plan, I had storyboards and stuff, but I went, now they're looking at me and I have to step up to the plate here. They'll follow you, but I learned how to make a movie with this movie. And I learned probably the more valuable lesson was that you just can't do it alone. You know, the fact was, you know, I had all these people working on it, and if it really wasn't for them, there'd be no movie. You know, I mean, I get to be right up front, so I get people who pat you on the back, or if they don't like it, they blame you. So, you know, you get that, which is fine. But it was really about how do I get all these other people? How do I take my problems and make them other people's problems and see if they can solve them for me? And it was really the team effort thing is what I learned. It was like, wow, you know, I always saw the director and everybody listened to him. But, you know, you've got to give them, everybody something, and you've got to have, everybody's got to be involved. You've got to make them part of it, you know, and they want to be. And I found that if you're giving like that, you pull them in, they're going to pull your ass out of the fire. And it's like happening every day on this one. So that was the big lesson that, oh, it isn't just me, you know, it's this team. And that was the big thing. I learned how to make a movie.
That's great. We got a few minutes yet, so I thought maybe we would take one or two from the crowd. Is that all right, Ted? Is there, I can't see you, they can't see you, but Ted will find you. If you got questions.
Yes. Raise your hand if you have a question. I'll find you.
Yeah.
No? Oh, one in the back here.
How much research did you have to do about mosquitoes?
Much research? Well, I mean, you know, growing up in Michigan, they were always there, right? So it was really it wasn't so much research. I mean, well, the main research I did was actually get pictures to see what they really look like, because by the time you really get to see them, they're like smushed on you, right? So you never really kind of know. It was fascinating once I started getting those microscopic pictures was what they really look like. And I thought, geez, that's not going to be too easy, you know. And I thought that's little thin legs, and we got to do cables and stuff. But one thing that helped me, there was a guy in California, it was Ken Middleton. He'd shoot all this micro stuff, microphotography stuff, and I found that he had stock footage of mosquitoes. And we actually purchased some of those. The most expensive shots, I think, was our 35mm stock footage. But it was great, I got those, and I was watching those bugs, you know, and I just studied those and go, okay, what can we use? You know, how do we make it work? And we used a variety of things. Pretty much what we did is we undercranked to get that kind of sped up motion. And there's some stop motion animation in there, and Jeff sculpted that puppet for that. And we had a friend of ours in Chicago do the animation. So this was really about how do you take that mosquito, what can you do with it? You know, the eyes look like this. How do we make the blood flow in there? Well, we got red balloons, you know. Red balloon will work, you know. So it was really a matter of trying to figure out what we could get and make to make that bug, because we were kind of limited money. So that was pretty much it, just to get a look down, and it's sort of like a super bug. It's not exactly a mosquito.
Yes.
I wanted to ask about the production design, and you mentioned a little bit about how you became mosquitoes, but how many mosquitoes do you guys have to make?
How many? We ended up making, well, we had like one Hero Mechanical one, which you saw come through the window there on the stove. And So we had pretty much one full-size mechanical one that we used for that, and also the seat of the tent, or anytime we were doing close-ups. And we probably had about 6 or 7 other ones. We had a couple that flew on a couple of rigs, overhead rigs we had, and then we had some we just had on a stick. And anything that we pulled out of the molds, we made them out of latex, rubber and stuff. Anything that came out of the mold and looked like crap, we just painted up and blew it up. So anything you saw getting destroyed in there was all stuff that really didn't work. But probably made about a dozen at the end of the day, plus some miniature versions.
Cool. All right. Oh, one over here. Yes.
Gary, I really enjoyed seeing the film again. It's been many, many years.
A couple of years, huh?
It's been a couple of years. I just wanted to ask you, because I don't remember now, what were your locations for shooting this? And how did you decide on picking these locations?
Well, the main location, when we were putting the financing together, there's a gentleman by the name of Lee Jacobson. He had a company called Jacobson Industries, and they were moving to Livonia from Detroit, and so he had a building downtown Detroit here, Joy Road in Wyoming, I think. And we asked him to invest in the movie, and he said, well, wait a minute, instead of investing $2,500, how about if you give us your building and cover the electricity and the water and everything and the garbage you pick up, and that'll be your investment. So that was our that's where all the interior sets there that you saw. The whole farmhouse interior, the tunnels, all that stuff was right there. The miniature motorhome was all inside there, and we edited there and sound there. But then I think you remember it was Dodge Park, wasn't it? In Pine.
We were at Highland State Recreation Area, off 59, off 23 there. The state parks were looking for money, I guess. We offered them some. Not much. But yeah, Dodge 10 was a campground that was no longer being used for campers. There was still the Ranger's house was there. Ron comes out of the garage with his smoker, his fogger there. So yeah, that was a big location. And then we were out by Jackson.
Yeah, we shot in my parents' farmhouse. That farmhouse was right, all the exterior.
Will's cabins in
Little shady, I don't think they're there anymore.
Thank you so much.